Welcome back to Lady Jane Books. Today I'm doing the End of Year Booktag. It's December, and I cannot believe it is December. I feel like I do this every single video. I'm always like, wow, it's November, and I can't believe it's November. Wow, it's March, and I can't believe we're already so far into the year. But like, I actually cannot believe that we are in December, the last month of the year. Now, I know I am once again late to the tag party with this one, but I think it's pretty interesting, and I would like to do the End of Year Booktag. So let's get started. Number 1, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I am in the middle of 2 really interesting books. The first one is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I'm reading this as a buddy read with Pei Vio from Attention, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's kind of an interesting dynamic to it. And I think I'm gonna be finishing it up pretty quickly. So that's the first one that I have to finish by the end of December. The second book that I'm in the middle of reading is The Case of the Murderous Dr. Cream by Dean Job. I'm also reading this as a buddy read with one of my all-time favorite Booktube buddies, Kari from Very Literary Kari. I'm about halfway through this one as well, and wow, I am totally enjoying it. So although these 2 books are definitely in process right now, I will be having to finish them before the end of December. Number 2, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So back in October, I did read a book that I think will be one of my favorites of 2021, and that is The Hour of the Witch by Christopher Bogelin. I read this as a buddy read with Very Literary Kari once again, and we had the best time. I loved this book. I thought it was so perfect for that autumnal season and that time of year, and it was a wonderful thriller. I will actually link the video of the live show discussion Kari and I did for Hour of the Witch, but basically this was absolutely fantastic. It was the perfect one for that autumnal season, and I highly recommend it as a transition into the end of the year. Number 3, is there a new release that you are waiting for? Honestly, no. And I'm so sad about that because usually I'm really hyped up about a book that's going to be coming out soon. And right now I feel so lost. There's nothing on my radar that I'm like, I can't wait until January for that to come out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like not feeling the hype lately or if I'm just out of the loop. But no, honestly, there are no books that Lady Jane is waiting to be released. Oh my goodness. I feel really lost and sad. But I will say that the good part about this is that I'm discovering books in genres that I really hadn't considered before, like nonfiction and dark romance. So, in all honesty, there is not a new release that I'm really excited about, but I'm okay with that. Number 4, what are 3 books that you want to read by the end of the year? So aside from the 2 that I'm reading right now, which are high priority for me to finish pretty quickly, there are a couple of books that I would love to get to by the end of December. In all honesty, there is an incredibly slim chance, basically no chance, of Lady Jane actually getting to these next 3 books, but I do have dreams. So the first book that I would love to read by the end of the year is The Ice Pick Surgeon. I am so excited about this one. I got this as a birthday gift from my father, and it's a nonfiction book about all these weird and wonderful, horrific things that science and the medical field have done throughout history. I am absolutely determined to read this pretty soon in the next couple of months, and realistically, I probably won't get to it in December. And if that's the case, then it's definitely going to be a priority for January of 2022. The second book that I really would like to read is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This was on my TBR recently, and I just I didn't get to it. I think it was on my TBR for November, and there was no time for Jane. So it is another one of those books that I've heard a lot of hype about and I'm really excited about, and I've heard it's going to be like an emotional roller coaster. So I do have my sights on it for some time soon. Again, probably not by the end of December, but I definitely want to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue sometime in the near future. And the last book that I would love to read by the end of the year is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This has been one of my most anticipated books before it was released, and that's because I absolutely loved The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I've heard that this is in the same universe, and it's so exciting, but I feel like this is a better summer read. But I'm just generally very excited about Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Number 5, is there a book that could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? There is a very slim chance of that happening, only because I have read several books in 2021 that are in contest for my favorite. I do think House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski is shaping up to be a very intriguing, very powerful book that I have enjoyed. So there is a possibility, a slim possibility of that being a contender for a favorite book. But quite frankly, when I think of 2021 as a whole, and books like The Hour of the Witch and Cold Comforts by Marian Halbert, it's gonna be tough to compete with some of those. So I'm going to say no, but in the possibility that House of Leaves just blows me away at the end of it, that would be my main contender. And number 6, have you already made reading plans for next year? And in total honesty, no, I have not. And I'll tell you why, my dear viewer. Lady Jane has had a year. 2021 has not been always kind to Jane, and I have had a little bit of shift in mindset because of it. So one of my goals for 2022 is to really reduce stress. 2021 was painfully stressful from start to finish, quite frankly. And so I'm making more of a conscientious effort to kind of let things go and let them be, and not be constantly worried and stressed out about some things that I cannot change. And part of that is to not plan as much with things like Booktube. In my mind, this wonderful Booktube community is about having fun and enjoying and kind of just going with the flow and socializing. And I really don't want to put stress on myself and wreck that type of experience and dynamic for Lady Jane books. So part of that is to not plan very much. It might be a disaster, it probably will be, but I think for my stress level, not making reading plans and just seeing where 2022 takes me reading-wise is going to be the best thing for Lady Jane books. So long story short, no. Once again, Lady Jane Books is embarrassingly late to the party with this tag, but in the chance that they haven't done it yet, I'm going to tag 2 of my Booktube buddies. For this, I'm tagging Teacup the Storyteller and Shelly Swearingen. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Something just flashed on my screen as like, update, and I'm like, no. So I know that I'm going to finish the murderous case. There it goes again, Jane. There it goes, the murderous case. No, the case of the murderous Dr. Cream. Number 2, do you have an autumnal book that, what? Autumnal book to transition into the end of the year. Oh, this is late, Jane. Oh, I should have done this back in like September. Ooh. Oh well. Number 2, do you have an autumnal book to common book. There we go. Okay, I was wondering. What? Like nonfiction or maybe like a dark romance type of thing. But no, this long. I forgot what I was saying. I don't know where I am. I forgot. And if that's the case, then it's definitely going to be a priority for January of 2022. I cannot believe I just said January 2022 and it's next month, and that's nuts. That's just, it's nuts. It's nuts, Jane. Number 5. Is there a book that... What? Number 5. Is there a book that could still shock you and became... Nope, not right.